Hey, what's up guys? Here's a short video on how to do face swap. So here's an example of how face swap works. So as you'll see here on the left side, I have a photo of my friend. And on the right side, there's a photo instead now with my face on it, with a bit shorter hair although. But yeah, that's from when I trained my model. Either way, it works really well. As you can see here, you just need a photo of someone else that you have the permission to use, of course, either through like someone you know or royalty-free site or whatever. It's up to you. And then all you do is you go to the edit page, you upload the photo and you select the aspect ratio. I just recommend 3:4 if you don't know what else to do. And then it opens up like this, and you just, for the edit method, you select the brush, the first one. And then you can see you can change the size of the brush underneath there, and then you paint over the face, hair, and the neck of the person. And so you see it just turns white. And then in the prompt box, you can type in model. That's what I would recommend by default. You don't have to add anything else. And then you just click the green create button. And then from there, you're gonna get sent to the photos page. It's gonna load. And then bam, all of a sudden we have the photos ready, and you see all of them actually look really good, like just right from the start like this. So again, just here's the one of the 6 photos you just saw, like from the first batch. Now, if you want to do something a little bit else or a little bit different, you can go back to the edit page, and then you see now in the prompt box, it says model wearing sunglasses. So again, if I click create, before I just said model, so now we're just trying to add sunglasses here, you'll see some of the photos have sunglasses on. Now, what can we do about this to have it to be more consistent? If we go back to the edit page, you see at the bottom there's this one called edit strength. Here you can click, instead of the standard, you can click higher. And this basically means that the prompt, the text, will have more influence over the photo. So if you need to make drastic changes, for example, adding sunglasses where none were before, or could be many other things, adding a beard to someone who didn't have it, whatever, this might be useful. So I would recommend just starting with standard, but you can go to higher then if needed. So we see now if I click create, there's going to be sunglasses actually now on all the photos. And if you're curious how this works, if you know, like from generating the photos, there's this slider for how much should the photo look like the reference. So basically the edit strength is just this slider, like in disguise, to simplify it a little bit. You don't have to think about it, just if you are curious. But anyway, before and after here, face swap, but now with sunglasses. Looks really good. Now, if you want to do a face swap of someone that looks quite different from you, it's a little bit more tricky. So I will show how to do that now. So you see this guy, for example, he has a beard, he has curly hair. It's a bit of a different vibe. If the person has a different skin color than you, it will also be possible, like with the same stuff. This guy has a beard, could also be different skin color. But let's say, for example, the person was black and I was trying to do a face swap. It would probably work like this, but if, let's say, the person had a t-shirt on and you could see his skin on the arms, it would be harder because then you had to like modify multiple parts of the photo. So usually it's easiest if the person you're trying to do a face swap of looks similar to you. And if he doesn't, at least it's easier if you can only see the face and maybe a little bit part of the chest, but not like the whole body is way off, you know? So anyway, let's start. So what you do here is, for example, if you want to try the same thing as before, just paint over the face, type in model and click create. Then what you'll see is I actually get a beard on many of these photos, because basically like it's just really far from my face to this person's face. So what you can do then is you can try and adjust the edit strength again to higher. And this might help in some occasions, but you see here still there's a beard in many of the photos, many of the other ones are glitched. So it doesn't fully work, but it still helps. So for example, notice this photo here. Now the face is actually pretty good, but you see, for example, the chain is a little bit glitched, and also the person has a lot of chest hair, which I don't. So that would be a little bit misleading. So what you can do about this now is if you hover the mouse over the photo, there's going to be an edit button. On mobile, if you click, it's going to show up. And then when you click that edit button, you're actually going to open not the original photo, but now this photo instead in the edit function. And here you can actually just brush over the face and also the chest, for example, if necessary, as I do here. We could have done this in the beginning as well. But either way, what helps here is that even though the photo is a little bit glitched with the neck and stuff, just having a now more similar person to do a face swap, this is ourselves, right? But maybe in a slightly glitched version, is gonna make the face swap more accurate. So I'm just typing in model and setting the edit strength to standard. And then actually now, as you see, all the photos has a really good face on me. So if the person look way different from you, you might have to do this basically 2-step process. Now you might notice that the the shirt is a little bit messed up. And that's because how it works is that the editing will only change the pixels that you paint over. So we saw before, I only painted over the skin, right? And when you do editing, it has no awareness of the areas outside the white. So basically the AI didn't know that there was a color or like a shirt outside the sleeved area. So that's why it messed it up a little bit. So basically how what you do to fix this is if you just increase the area. So this might not be necessary in all photos you saw in the first one, for example. I didn't include the suit as part of the marked area, but here, for example, where it turns out that the shirt gets messed up, what I do is just I increase the masked area to also include the color basically around. And I just keep the prompt as model, just keeping it simple. You don't have to add anything else like model wearing a shirt, just model, and then a bigger masked area works well. And you click create. And now we see that they both have a great face and also like a realistic looking shirt. So yeah, this is how you can do it. You can go from like a guy who looks quite different from you to still getting a good face swap. But some of you might say, you don't have the exact same facial expression as the other guy. Like I wanted this like look that my face swap person has. So what you can do then is you can, for example, go back into the editing, and you can tweak the prompt a little bit. So I could do model confidently looking up into the camera, for example. And if I click create, you see many of the photos are similar, but for example, one of them actually looks more like I'm looking up into the camera. And again, this was with the standard edit strength. I could have set this to higher, maybe that would have helped. So you can mess around with it, but you have to, like, when you're creating these AI photos, you have to relax a little bit and just be like, it cannot be absolutely perfect. You have to just generate some variations and accept that, just trying to get like a cool, good looking photo. But if you have a super specific vision in your mind and you want everything to be perfect, that's just not possible right now with sort of the state of the AI technology. So just know that, as long as the photo looks good, you can send it to other people, get them to review it, then that's the most important. Other people are not going to know like what you exactly had in mind, and everything has to be perfect. So yeah, just a quick note. So yeah, and here's the other version. So just a quick recap here, if I should do that. For the most part, basically, if you have someone just looking somewhat similar to you, you just mask the face and you enter model as a prompt, and that works great immediately. If you want to add some more changes, you can increase the edit strength to higher, so it's a little bit more different. But if the person looks quite different from you, then you might need to do a two-step process where you first do like before, but the photo's a little bit glitched, and you just do it one more time by clicking the edit button there. And then the second time around, it looks better. All right, thanks for watching, guys.